the idea, hopefully, is that you're better on the second trip.
Yeah, of course. You always try to make 2 perfect runs, but of course perfect never happens.
Yeah.
Just if you're Mountain Dukurs. So the thing is that on race day, everything is different. You have polished runners, you're mentally in another place. And of course, the coaches are behind you, someone carries your sled. You have someone in the finish area that picks up your sled. All these cameras, everything is just spotted right on you. So race day is definitely something totally different.
So hopefully you can rise to that pressure and enjoy it, being the focus of all the attention. And he has 53.77, is getting on for half a second quicker than his second run.
Yeah, he was not patient enough in corner 3 at the exit. We saw that he crossed right at the exit onto the right wall, and that was a little bit of a tight taker.
So I put her down, and the lady was like, stop.
A decent run, 53.77 in the first heat would have left him in 11th place. So that's an improvement for him now. A fresh spritz on the track, a fine spray of water that freezes on contact and smooths out the ice, may well be helping with the speed. Let's see if Greg West of the USA can gain some advantage there. He was 1100ths in front of Kevin Boyer. Settles, tucks his hands underneath himself, and a 5:15 getaway, same as in the first heat.
Yeah, Greg West is on a prototype sled. He's testing for the Americans, and it's really hard to be on a prototype because you never know if things work or work not, and then each athlete needs his own setup. So yeah, it takes time, but Greg is doing good so far. Decent exit out of Kreisel. His lines are looking good here. He's taking back some time. Yeah, he lets the sled go. He didn't work too hard. That's very important, so he didn't start too scared. Maybe a little late into the labyrinth, but
getting closer.
Looks like a good little run for him.
Yes, he is getting closer and closer, and at the line, 200s in front. Oh, that's tough.
Nice work.
Close,
Yeah, nice close run. Well, he was 1100s up for the first heat, 200s up in total. But he gets the 1 digit in the air. But even before you see the time, it feels like it was much better. If there's one major thing in your head that you get right, then you feel much better.
Yeah, exactly. You know at the end of the run if it was a good run or not. Of course, you have no idea about the runs of the athletes right in front of you or before you, but you know exactly after the finish line that was good and that was not good. And
yeah, you can see he was absolutely ecstatic with that.
Hey, Mom, Dad, Deanna, Quick Skins, Machine Tech, everybody that helps us out, thank you very much.
He's been watching a lot of NASCAR races. Okay, well, his teammate Kyle Brown is next up. Kyle was a 10th ahead of Greg West after the first of our 2 heats. Austin Florian, the 3rd US slider, didn't make the cut, and he was absolutely livid with himself. There's Caleb Smith at the top, the former US slider and British coach, now back with the US program. So 5:01, that's a 10th faster than he pushed in the first heat. You know, to go 100th quicker is always an advantage. To go a 10th of a second quicker is a huge advantage.
Yeah, definitely. So the question is just now, what did he do in the first run?
All right, now the question is, he's getting to all these corners quicker than he did before. How is that working inside his head? How quickly does he adapt?
The thing is, in Eagles, the faster the ice is, the easier it gets to slide, like on nearly every track, because the tracks are constipated exactly for that reason.
Yeah. 2400s up, he was 2700s up, gaps down to 2/10. Yeah, very good speed, 72.9 miles an hour. Actually, Greg West was fast at the bottom as well. 53.79 is the slide, though, so it's a US 1-2. And he holds his lead by 1700ths over Greg West. So, again, he's very happy with that. You can just see from the body language.
What do you think you pushed? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You do want to know. It's a 10th better. Well, Tuffy Latour, the coach, knows that, you know, every hand's a loser, just like every hand's a winner. And this is a really good run. He had a good start, corrected some of the first heat errors.
Yeah, 5:09 is a huge start for this guy. I'm really impressed right now.
Yeah. Well, it obviously didn't feel that much different to him, and that's a real problem. If you thought you just blitzed it, then he wouldn't be, that wouldn't have been his attitude, but he's gone a tenth quicker, and he's not quite sure that that's right. No. Well, next up, Wenqiang of China. His advantage over Kyle Brown was 1/100th of a second. I mean, that's effectively a dead heat, and that time's gone already.
Yeah, we see he's already a tenth behind Kyle.
And that's all because he started slower as well, a 5:14 compared to a 5:01, so he's got about as little experience of this track as Kyle Brown.
Yeah, Geng uses his legs really hard. He's a really hard knee steering type. So we see this every time when he lifts one leg, he's steering with the other side, or with the other knee.
Now, is that part of the fact that he's got a Schneider sled and that's what works best for the sled, or is it just what the habit he's taught himself?
It's probably a mixture between what works best for the sled and what works best for the athlete. It's always the combination between athlete and sled that needs to be perfect.
There's Willy Schneider on the right, and I guess Schneider is probably giving away 35 centimetres, 40 centimetres in height to Geng, so he's Willy is a much slighter athlete. He was extremely good skeleton slider in his period. He was competing against your dad.
Yeah.
But again, I wonder if the sled is built more for a smaller athlete than for a guy as tall as Geng.
If we compare the sled with the Bobsleigh, for example, the Bobsleigh sleds are a little bit shorter. The Schneider sleds are really long.
Really long.
Yeah, so
maybe not.
He's really close to the maximum. So I think that's an opportunity for both athletes. Tall athletes on a Bobsleigh, it's maybe a little bit hard, but the Schneider, there's so much space, it's like a couch. Oh. You can lie there.
Yeah, you can, I'd be panicking. Next up is Jack Thomas of Great Britain, first of the three British sliders. 900's the advantage over our current race leader, Kyle Brown. So this 15 to 20 group is always jam-packed together, and today is no different.
Yeah, Jack already had a really good run in the first one, but he even better did now in the second. The exit of 3 is really smooth. He's letting the sled do the work, so he's not forcing it, and that's so important on this.
We talked about that confidence factor. He's had a good first run, he's gone into the second heat, he felt good, so now he's relaxing a bit more, and that makes it feel better, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, he's losing a little bit of time right now, but he's still taking the speed. 98 kilometers per hour is really good speed. He's missing some speed here.
Going to be close, behind in the labyrinth. And he is going to be behind at the line, but only by a fraction. 53.92, 400s back. Carl Brown's got to work on some leader box magic, hasn't he? Some dances or whatever going on. He might be there for a while. Second place for Jack Thomas. 400s of a second given away. But it was, you know, this group of athletes are all so close together.
Yeah, this season is a little bit hard for Jack, probably. If things are not working like you're used to it, it's hard. Jack is such a talented athlete. He's super focused. He's super strong. Yeah, this season he's struggling a little bit, but he always keeps smiling, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because if the attitude is right, eventually the form will return.
Yeah.
Supporting Oddballs, the prostate cancer charity in the UK. Jack Thomas in second. Kyle Brown leads by 400. 5 down, 15 to go. Second heat of 2 of race 4 of the BMW IBSF Skeleton World Cup for men. Ivo Steinbergs of Latvia, our World Cup rookie this season in his 4th ever World Cup start. 5:20 getaway. He was 15th in the first heat, and he led our current leader Kyle Brown by just 900ths of a second. Alongside me is Austrian slider Alexander. Alex, this track is so commonly producing very tight results. It's hard to get 2 runs that are the same.
Yeah, that's what we see also on the time sheets, that everyone is so close together. That shows exactly how easy this track is and how hard it is to be faster than the rest of the field.
And consistency is so important, and young sliders like Ivo, this is only his 3rd year sliding, getting consistent runs is the real holy grail. It's so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Ivo was here last year during the ICC.
Finish 54-17 and
Yeah, he won't be happy with this result now, but he has still plenty of time.
54.17, that's a couple of tenths of a second slower than his first heat. And yeah, disappointed as the mistakes have crept in. And the problem is, with a labyrinth above the Kreisel and one below, so many corners are connected.
Yeah, what we see here, the sled is too parallel in this part. The sled should point a little bit more into the next corner with his nose. So that's the problem, that you then stick to the wall and you have a late entrance into the corner 5. Corner 4, sorry.
Ivo Steinbergs drops down to the tail of the field. 6 of our 6 sliders, that's why he was so disappointed. Carl Brown of the USA is the race leader. 14 sleds to go here, and in 14th place after heat 1 of 2. Ronald Auderset of Switzerland. 5:01 start. Let's see if he can find another fraction or 2 and break into the 4s. He's a quick sprinter. 5:03.
A little bit slower than in the first one. And he stayed out here too early. That's the reason why I pushed him too much to the wrong side of the track. And now he's struggling. We see this. He's not where he should be. By now he's back on the line, but it took him 2-3 corners, and we have just 14 corners, so we're talking about 20%.
Yeah.
That one hurts.
Well, he was 1500ths up. It was down to 900ths of a second at the last clock. He could well be in the red. On the next one, he is. Wiping that speed off using your shoulder as brakes on the wall.
Yeah, I think he will lose a little bit. Yeah, a few spots more.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. He'll lose 3 or 4. 7 places back. 54.25. Well, again, that's an indication of how close this heat is at the moment, because he's 3 tenths back from the leader, and he was, what was he, 1600ths in front of him, so he's lost 4600ths of a second in just that one run.
Yeah.
And it all started, didn't it, with the exit of the Kreisel. When he hits the wall at the exit here, then that just puts on the brakes.
Yeah, it was even in the top part, so he was a little bit late in corner 1, and that made it much harder. Yeah.
Skids off the Kreisel, late into the next corner, and that just multiplies. Ronald Auderset at the tail of the field. Germany's Christopher Grotheer struggled pre-season with injured himself just as the ice was forming on some of the tracks in pre-season training. Let's see if he can come back. Decent start, 5:06. Still trying to find a bit more pace. 1 World Cup win in his career so far. But he's one of those sliders, Alex, who you think he just needs, 3 or 4 good runs and really get his head together, and then he should be able to start performing at the top level again.
Yeah, that's right. He already showed us a great performance last week in Altenburg, 2 weeks in Altenburg. Christopher had struggles in the first heat. I was talking with one of his coaches, and he said, yeah, he wasn't 100% on point, but he shows us now that he really knows how to slide down in Eagles.
53.77, that's a good run. And that's 200ths of a second quicker than Kyle Brown went, so he extends his advantage over the American out to 2 tenths and takes the lead. So 12 to go, because he was tied for 12th with Sami Maier of Austria, who's next up. Christopher Grotheer shakes his head. Still too many mistakes for his liking. Not a bad exit there. Just don't get too sideways.
Yeah, what we can see here is that he really accepts that the sled is a little bit skidding under his body, and that's okay. As long as you don't fight too hard, as long as you don't skid really bad, it's not that big deal. You have to accept not being perfect.
Yeah. Well, Christopher Grotheer has the lead and a decent run. Let's see where that puts him. Kyle Brown in second, Jack Thomas third. And here's our World Cup rookie, Sammy Maier, just 19 years old. Brother Benny will be commentating on a four-man race this weekend. His brother Raphael is spreading germs all the way around the track. Just spoke to him. He's now recently retired from skeleton. And Sammy, the latest of the family to come sliding, 5:13.
Sammy's so talented and he knows this track so good. I'm really interested if he can show us now what he's really able to do.
Well, the nerves of the first heat may have gone away. He's gone out to 10th of a second behind, 1300s behind. It was a big start from Christopher Grotheer. That found him 700s more than Maier right from the start. Now, what can he do here on down? This is where his knowledge might help him. He's stopped losing time.
Really good speed.
Here we go. Gap's coming back. Out of the labyrinth. Oh, it's going to be very close, 1100s back. All right, now then.
For the first time in the World Cup, it's a really good result for him. We can be happy with that.
He should be absolutely thrilled with a top 12 run. Now, he may not be in the top 12 at the end. He may still be, but in a field of 28 in your first World Cup race, you'd be happy to make the cut.
Yeah.
If we'd said to him this morning, I guarantee you're going to make the cut, okay, great, that's all. That's all you want, first race, right?
First race, of course. You want to improve everyone. You want to show everyone what a great talent or experience you already have, especially as a young athlete. You're super motivated. And
well, 19 years old, sliding skeleton for 12 years already. And Sammy Maier in second place. Christopher Grotheer, the race leader, as we get to our second Austrian slider. Florian Auer, your younger brother, Alex. So what about Flo's first run right on the edge of the top 10? He's got to be looking to improve because 10th sounds so much better than 11 for 12.
Yeah, right. Flo's first run was okay. The start was good. The only problem what we have was right after Kreisel.
5:07, good getaway, and that leaves him with a lead over Christopher Grotheer. Let's see what he can build. There are only a few hundreds. He was 600s in front from the first heat, 500s in front now.
It looks really good. He's letting the sled do the work.
It's got to be tough watching your younger brother slide. Hasn't had that before in the commentary position. Tied for the lead with Christopher Grotheer. He doesn't want to go behind.
Oh yeah, that was a great exit. Good speed.
Now let's see what he can
be super close. Yeah, he's gaining time and speed. Yes, yes.
Excellent speed. 1:18.0. That's the fastest of all. Tied with Geng of China, and across the line, 553.
Phenomenal.
Well done.
Super good.
Well done. Well, two well dones there. Well done to Flo. Well done for Alex. For he was punching the air silently here.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good. And yes, look, he's really happy.
You really see his emotions. He's super happy right now. He knows that he did a great job today.
Yeah.
And the field that's coming now is still so close.
Yep.
So maybe we can gain a few more spots. Congrats for that, Flo.
He was 500s out of the top 10, and the bottom part really went well for him.
Yeah, it's amazing the step that this guy did this season from last season is just impressive. We were talking about a guy who wasn't able to get into the second heat last year, who had to work all summer long and train all summer long, and now he really gets his credits for that, for this hard work and this patience.
Florian Auer leads for Austria ahead of Christopher Grotheer and teammate Sammy Maier. We've got 10 down and 10 still to go.
How long is the break now?
We're still on.
Hello, everyone.
So TV have gone away, but the streaming are still watching us. So Alex, you know, last time out in Altenburg, 9th place, his best World Cup result. That gives you the confidence. Look at the smile on his face as well. You know, at home as well is particularly important. You know, you're here, your dad's here, the whole family are around and about. You know, it's just nice to be able to produce the goods at a track that you know so well, right?
Yeah, home ice is always special. I mean, you have, most of the time, you have friends on the track, you have your family on the track. The media is always a little bit bigger on home ice. It's a European Championship too.
Yes.
So yeah, this good-looking fella is happy, and he really showed today his nerves were made out of steel.
Now, let's talk about the European Championships, Lācis. We see Laura D's family, who often come here. This seems to be their place of choice, maybe because the skiing around here is not so bad in Austrian Alps. But, yeah, the European Championships last week, the Austrian bobsleigh women's team got a European bronze medal. You know, it is a big result, isn't it, to get into that, you know, top 3 position. If the Austrians can somehow, you know, grab a medal here or get into the top half dozen, that's a big, big boost. It's something you can then, you know, top 6 in the European Championships sounds an awful lot better than top 6 in a race.
Yeah, of course. It's a huge step for a federation always. It shows that the work that happened in the last years really gives you the credits right now, and of course then you get more fundings, you can develop more, you can try to get your athletes right on that step where they then already are.
Excellent. All right, here we go. Let's get ready for our second heat. Race 4 of the BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup. We're in Innsbruck in Austria, 10 down, 10 to go. Race being led by Florian Auer of Austria, and just 500s quicker than him in the first heat is Jerry Rice of Great Britain. Alongside me, Alexander Auer, the brother of our race leader. 4.99 start from Jerry Rice. Another sub-5 start gives him a great chance. Nice.
Jerry knows this track also very good. The British team, they have so many runs on this ice. They know exactly where to work and what to do. What we see, Jerry is gaining speed and time. A little bump here.
That's one of the key areas to get it cleanly off the Kreisel. Can he hold his speed further down the track?
Yeah, maybe that was not a very smart thing, because he was too close at the entrance of Labyrinth. So that gives you a little bit of pressure, so he will bleed a little bit of time, but still in the lead.
Oh, 53.80, that is very close.
But it was just the 5th fastest time in the second heat so far.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And again, through the most dangerous outrun in the sport, in fact, probably the most dangerous bit of the sport. Any corner anywhere, you'd rather take than the outrun in Innsbruck, I think. A big smile on Jerry Rice's face, top 10 guaranteed for him. And that will be his first of the season.
Good load.
He's been struggling to fire correctly so far this year. 13th, 15th, 19th his results. That little rub on the Kreisel nearly cost everything.
Yeah, they can be really close by him.
Well, the two of them 300s apart. Effectively, they're one person. So you're either going to beat both of them or lose to both of them. So Flo may still end up in the top 10. Let's see how we go. Well, next up is Marcus Wyatt of Great Britain. 100th faster than Jerry Rice, his teammate, in the first heat. 600s ahead of Florian Auer. You see what I mean about how close it is? Let's see what he can produce. 4.92, a great first start. And 4.91, even quicker. He was the second fastest starter in the first heat, and now that is an improvement.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The British team, they always come up with so strong athletes. It's really great to see them, how fast they get better each year. They had a really great program for the young sliders with Woody. And yeah, I think he's sort of the godfather together with Andy Schmidt of British success.
Yeah, Woody now developing the Chinese program, and yeah, good to see Andy Schmidt at the track here, a former world champion and European champion in men's skeleton.
Well, Marcus run is really nice.
Now, this is not about just beating Jerry Rice and Florian Auer, is it? This is really going to launch him up the order. 53, that's 4 tenths nearly quicker than his first heat. That is a huge improvement. 53.36 would have left him in 5th place, ahead of Alexander Tretiakov in the first run. That is a big second run.
It's going to be hard to beat for the next riders,
Yeah, that is 4/10 quicker than anybody so far has come down in the second heat. Where was that from? When you get one like that, where everything works the way you planned, suddenly you think, why can't I do that every time?
It's the thing that we were talking about a little bit earlier today. It's perfection and to be precise. He was able now to get probably 98% of perfection. He did a really, really good job right now.
Yeah. He watched Martin Dukurs' video and did it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So Marcus Wyatt leads. Next up is Nikita Tregubov, second in the World Cup standings after winning the season opener in Sigulda. Has not been worse than 4th this year, but 8th after the first heat, and 5:04 is part of the reason he starts 800 slower than our race leader Marcus Wyatt.
Yeah, Nikita is probably the next future superstar in this sport. He brings everything. He's tall, he's heavy, he has great driving technique. And yeah, I think his mental strength is really impressive. I'm wondering that he's struggling so hard in Eagles this week, because what we saw from him in the last few races was much more better than this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was the bronze medalist here last year, and this year he's going to struggle to stay in the top 10. This is only the 3rd fastest run, 2nd at the line, tied with Jerry Rice. Coaches are a picture of not letting any emotion show. That's a very un-Nikita Tregubov run, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the body language.
Yeah. It was definitely not his week, but
he's not started fast, and he made lots of mistakes down the run. It's not like him.
no, it's not typical for him. Nikita is normally like a machine.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you get when you look at him, when you see him working. Yeah. I mean, the line is not bad, but probably he had some problems with the material today because of the hard conditions.
Yeah. Well, I wonder about the start. I mean, he looks healthy. He's looked healthy all week, but he just isn't firing fast at the top. Well, that was the first of 3 Russians. I can't remember the last time Tregubov was the first of 3 Russians in the top 20. Anyway, next up is Vladislav Marchenkov. Now, he produced a really impressive drive. Hasn't got the fastest start, 5:13 in the first heat, 5:09. Well, that all helps, doesn't it? Only 500 slower than Nikita Tregubov.
Yeah, Vladislav is a really interesting driver. You see him not always on the perfect line, but he's still able always to take the speed down to the finish. I mean, he's struggling here a little bit too late at the exit of 6 because he was too early into this corner. Yes, getting out of here, gets the hit right before 8, makes everything harder. So he will need a hard steer here. Right. He's missing some speed.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what changes he made to his sled, maybe to the setup, to try and give himself a bit more speed, a bit less control. Maybe he's just gone too far over that edge. Oh! Well, he's now in second place ahead of Nikita Tregubov with a 5:3.82, exactly the same time that Tregubov had just set. So he was 200s in front on the first heat, and that's the lead that he retains over Tregubov. But Marcus Wyatt of Great Britain, half a second quicker nearly, is still the leader.
yeah, Marcus' second run was just impressive. It's going to be interesting if Tretiakov, the guy who starts as fast as Marcus, or maybe a little bit faster, is able to beat this time.
Yeah. Again, this is exactly like Tregubov. Lots of little errors creeping in, and all of them cost you a 100th or a couple of hundreds or a 10th. So there it is, Vladislav Marchenkov. 6 to go, and Kilian von Schleinitz of Germany, he'd probably prefer me to say of Bavaria, is next up. 5:02 start in the first heat. 10th fastest. You know, since we first saw him in the World Cup about 4 years ago, his start has come on because he's no longer a sort of fresh-faced teenager. He's now in his early 20s, and so it's getting quicker, getting stronger. 4:97. There you go.
Yeah, 4:97 is a huge improvement on his start right now.
But gingerly drops back a fraction. Again, the gap ahead of Jerry Rice was only 900s. He started 600 slower. So he's going to have to drive himself into the lead.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky. Marcus Wyatt was so smooth, was so on point. Killian is doing great. He's having no mistakes. He's really on a smooth line. He lets the sled work. Maybe a little struggle here, but it's not bad.
Gap is out to 1800ths of a second. He's still ahead of the Russians, and by some big margin as well. Yeah, clock still at 50 in the finish curve, and a 53.66, 3/10 slower than Marcus Wyatt. Marcus Wyatt is heading into potentially his best ever World Cup result so far. 5th position in Winterberg is his best, but Kilian von Schleinitz, for the moment, in 2nd spot, ahead of Vladislav Marchenkov and Nikita Tregubov. It doesn't seem to me that the track is losing any speed, because you can see where they're giving it away, can't you?
Yeah, normally we see if they are making small mistakes, and in comparison with Market, everyone has small mistakes. Like here, we see the ice just
spraying off the runners, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe the entrance into corner 10 is not that perfect, because you're a little bit too late. Gives you more height in the middle of the corner and makes it harder to get a good cross into corner 11.
5 to go. Marcus Wyatt leads for Great Britain. We are about to decide our European Championship medals. Our World Cup points leader, Alexander Tretiakov, 5th place after the first heat. Can he improve on that? Well, a 4:81 start is an exceptional getaway. That's 700ths quicker than his own personal fastest start in the first heat. Well, that is actually 1100 slower than the track start record that he set in the World Championships in 2016. When we went to Sigulda at the beginning of the season, 14 years after he made his first ever start in Sigulda, he went from a 5:08 to a 4:88. He was nearly 3/10 quicker in the start.
That's a huge improvement.
And he's 34 years old.
Look at his speed. He's not sliding the perfect line, but he's gaining speed, and he lets the sled do the work. And that's what we see here exactly.
Top speed
in all sections.
Yeah. Great run from Tretiakov. He's letting it fly. 53.04. Finally, somebody has gone quicker than Marcus Wyatt. So Marcus Wyatt applauds in the oddball's hat. He will leave the leader's box.
Yeah, with the 53.04, it's already an attack to the podium.
Yep.
Martin's time was 53.02.
Yeah, only one sled has gone faster. That was a real recovery drive from Tretiakov. He really laid down a storming run. If that doesn't get a medal, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, you really see how bumpy and hard the spur is today.
Yeah. Little brush on the wall, but he gets away with it. Good run from Alexander Tretiakov. Lots to think about still, though. Look at him. He's really not quite convinced. So 4 to go, 3 of whom are all in 2nd place. Sungbin Yun of Korea, the first of the 3 to go. Coach Richard Bromley lays down this personal hand-built tailored sled that only Yun uses. 4:92 start, 4:90. That's 900 slower than Alexander Tretiakov, but he was 2600ths up, so he still has a lead. Now, for Tretiakov, he doesn't have to get ahead of one guy to get a medal, or 2 guys. He's effectively got to get ahead of all 3 of them.
Yeah, it's going to be super close. We're going to see a really interesting race. He's always bleeding sometimes, but it's going to be a really tough thing to beat Alexander Tretiakov's 2nd heat.
Tretiakov laid down a smoker. Yun is still in front by the tiniest of margins, 600ths of a second, 700ths. He's hanging on.
Speed.
1:18.6, 73.7 miles an hour, quicker than Tretiakov. Wow, 53.21. The run was not as good, but it had enough in hand.
Yeah, his advantage from the first run really saved him this spot. Because the second run was just 1500 slower than Tretiakov.
Yeah. So he survived on being much quicker in the first heat. There's the new hairstyle. And the new knees. Well, one of them is fully rehabbed. The other one, or the knee surgeries he's had, the other one's still not quite. So his start isn't still where he was last year, running up to the games in Pyeongchang, where, of course, he took the Olympic gold medal. But he's not far away anywhere, is he? He really drives superbly as well.
Yeah.
This is a starter's track, but it's not just about the start, and nor is he. So, Sungbin Yun career leads Alexander Tretiakov, 2 Olympic champions, first and second, and we still have 3 sleds to go. Next up, also second after the first heat, Germany's Axel Jungk. Well, Axel, the bronze medalist in the European Championships here last year. Let's see if he can claim another European medal. 4.93, exactly the same as his first start.
Axel is a perfect form here. You don't even see his feet under the sled. A little tap before 5.
200ths of a second, the gap has grown to 600ths, and Yun had such speed at the bottom. Stop the bleeding. Is the gap going to close? 99.8. He's the same fastest speed as Tretiakov. 1:19.0, fastest of all. Here comes Axel Jungk. It'll only be by 100th if it's in front at all. 100th behind.
Unbelievable.
Even with the fastest speed in the lower labyrinth, but because Sungbin Yun is a Korean, that guarantees himself a second European Championship medal in a row. That's why there was almost a little smile there from Dirk Matchens, the German coach.
Yeah.
100. Those are the tough ones, right? 100th of a second.
Yeah, especially if he figures out after the race that he had the top speed there, and he was closing the gap already. These are the ones that hurt the most.
You always think there's something, you always know, no matter how quick your run is, you always know there's a mistake.
Yeah, and it was exactly the bump before 5 where he hit a little bit the wall. He was too flat through the corner, and then he picked him up a little bit. You have to steer too much when you get this line.
Well, next up is Tomass Dukurs of Latvia in his 115th World Cup. So the veteran Latvian, 2200ths off the lead. In that 3-way tie is Florian Auer of the USA, who's been watching all the action right at the top of the track.
Yeah, that's exactly the way how you should handle a situation like this. Even if you're not able to make it to the second heat, you really need the time to figure out what are the other guys, the faster guys doing that I'm not doing, and you really have to get in contact with the track.
Even for the Dukurs brothers, the most experienced on tour, every day is a learning day. Every day you slide, you learn more about sliding. 2400ths behind Sungbin Yun. There's not enough ice, is there, Alex Auer, to come back no matter how quick he's going?
It's going to be really close, but I don't think that he will make it on the podium today.
No, doesn't have the speed of Yun. Axel Junk's in the medals. Only 4th place for Tomass Dukurs. He won't share a medal with his brother here. He will not make it into the European Championship positions. Axel Jungk is a European silver medalist, at least. Alexander Tretiakov, the European bronze medalist, at least, as he was 2 years ago behind Martens and Tomass. Well, Alex, that's a great exit. The sled tracking dead straight, but that was one of the cleaner bits of the drive. There were just a couple of errors.
Yeah, you could see from the top one that he always had really small skids, but normally that's not a thing that makes it.
Alexander Tretiakov down at the bottom. He lies in 3rd place with 1 to go, and the 1 is looking for, after such a long while, his 51st World Cup win, his first in a year, and his 10th straight in Innsbruck, and his 10th straight European Championship gold medal. Tomass Dukurs cleanly out of the first corner. 4.88 start. How much does this mean to him? 4.92 in the first heat. That's a big step forward.
Yeah, and you see his top speed already, 50.6. He's one of the fastest guys, definitely.
Yeah.
And now he's just, he exactly knows right now that no one will take him that.
But one big error will give all of that time away. But Tomass Dukurs rarely makes big errors. That was quite a clip on the wall from him, 3,500 up.
Yeah, but he's drive back on the line. Super smooth here on the straight.
99.5, a fraction slower than Axel Jungk, but still with a comfortable lead. 3,400. He was only 22 up from the first heat. Good speed at the bottom and victory for Tomass Dukurs. Finally, after a long drought, he won once last year. Now this is World Cup victory number 51 for Tomass Dukurs. His 10th consecutive win in Innsbruck. His 10th consecutive gold in the European Championships.
It's just impressive.
And he never loses the passion, the drive, the fight. Every single run is like life and death important for him.
Yeah, that's the reason why these guys, the Latvians, are so super successful in this sport.
Tomass Dukurs of Latvia, he found extra at the start, even though he had a big lead in. That's a key ingredient, isn't it? Nothing is ever enough. He's always pushing for more. And what a great run.
Yeah, it was just stunning. He had a small accident at the exit of Chrysler, but he was able to manage it to get back on the right line within corner 8. And that's just, yeah, just the Tomass Dukurs is able to do.
Tomass Dukurs, our winner. Sungbin Yun, the Olympic champion, in second. Axel Jungk takes the bronze medal here, ahead of Alexander Tretiakov, Tomass Dukurs, and 6th for Marcus Wyatt. von Schleinitz, Vladislav Marchenkov round out the top 10 with Nikita Tregubov and Jerry Rice. And then Florian Auer 11th, Sammy Maier 13th. Really good results for the two Austrian sliders here on home ice. And that rounds out our race here in Innsbruck in Austria. Well, in the end, it was a very tight race, with the exception of one man. Alex, you always look to see where Tomass Dukurs is. He doesn't always win, but he's always one that the others are looking for. Sungbin Yun has got all of the speed and now so much of the ability and the experience to be a challenge every time he goes on the ice. And Alexander Tretiakov, like Martins and Tomass here, he's been around a decade and a half. He knows all there is to know.
Yeah, that's right. Alex was always one of the fastest guys at the start, of course. Yeah. So it was maybe on some tracks easier for him to be in the top 6. Tomass and Martins are a little bit slower at the start, especially Tomass. And yeah, you really see that these guys are working so hard on their lines and on their material just to be that competitive.
Well, the 3 fastest starters in the field were Alexander Tretiakov, 34 years old, Tomass Dukurs, 2nd, 33 years old, and Sungbin Yun, 25. So, you know, there's lots and lots of speed in the old legs yet. I remember standing in Sochi when we went for the pre-Olympic race and talking to Alex, and he was pointing to Nikita Tregubov going, these kids, they're too fast, I have to watch this. I said, Alex, that was you 10 years ago. You were the 24-year-old super starter. When he first slid in Sigulda, he did 5:01. The next fastest starts were 16s and 17, and he was 34th, last in the field. That was his first World Cup season, and he hit everything. He hit stuff that nobody had ever hit. And you know, within 2 years, he was on the podium and starting to win races because he learned how to handle the speed. And Tomass Dukurs has done the same, Sungbin Yun's done the same, Tregubov has done the same. You've got to learn how to drive with the speed that nobody else can teach you.
Being a fast starter is always a good advantage in this sport. Sliding is easier to good sliding quality is easier to achieve than a super fast start.
For the 10th year in a row, Tomass Dukurs of Latvia is our World Cup winner, but also our European champion. Axel Jungk takes the silver, Alexander Tretiakov the bronze, ahead of Tomass Dukurs, Marcus Wyatt and Kilian von Schleinitz. So of course we've taken Sungbin Yun, a Korea who finished on the podium in the World Cup race, out of that equation. Dukurs, Jungk and Tretiakov are the European Championship medalists. Nikita Tregubov, Jerry Rice, both in 8th position. Florian Auer in the top 10 in the European Championships, and those are the rest of the Europeans in the top 20. So our race winner, Tomass Dukurs, World Cup victory number 51, European Championship gold medal number 10 in a row, and his 10th straight win here in Sigulda. Since the 2009-10 season, he has not beaten. The last man to win on this track, who wasn't Tomass Dukurs? Frank Rommel. He'll be watching at home. Hi, Frank. And the year before that, Alexander Tretiakov. But since the Canada Games season, Tomass Dukurs has not been beaten. Alexander Tretiakov still leads the points. Sungbin Yun moves up to 2nd, ahead of Tomass Dukurs, who's now 3rd, as Nikita Tregubov, who is the points leader after Sigulda, and Winterberg has dropped down to 4th position. And Axel Jungk in 5th place. Another strong result for Axel as his season starts to grow a little bit. And there are the other points scorers in 4 World Cups. It is World Cup weekend number 5. There was no racing last weekend because of snow problems in Königssee, Bavaria. There's Axel Jungk, the bronze medalist here. So bronze and European silver for Axel. Sungbin Yun, a career on the left-hand side, the silver medalist, and the gold medal goes to Tomass Dukurs of Latvia. It's been over 12 months since his last win. It was in December here last year that he won his only race last year. Sungbin Yun won 5 of 7 that he started. Tomass Dukurs claims his first win of the season, and amazingly only his 2nd podium in 4 starts. Well, that is it for the men's skeleton encounter. Women's skeleton this afternoon starts at 2:30 local, 13:30 GMT. My thanks to Alexander Auer for a stunning rookie performance on the microphone. Thank indeed to him. Thanks to you for joining us. From me, Martin Haven, the IBSF TV crew. We'll see you this afternoon for the women's race. Until then, from Innsbruck in Austria, it's goodbye for now.
Bye.